Alright, hey everyone. It's been a while since I've done a stream. Um, just been so busy with everything. Yeah, COVID-19 has made things very busy. I actually work for a hospital and I help with their data. So, yes, I'm quite fortunate to remain employed, but I've also been quite busy because I'm in one industry that hasn't really slowed down. Um, yeah, um, we're here for a Crazy House World Championship match. This is scheduled between uh, GM Andrew Tang, penguingim1, and metin48. We're hoping to get started shortly. We've just moved to 10 a.m. in Sydney time, which is the time I'm expecting to this match to begin. Yeah, I just want to say, it's been fantastic. The tournament's been rolling along very well so far. Thank you to all the players who have been cooperating and completing their matches on schedule. Um, and there's been some fantastic matches already. I'm sorry I haven't really covered many. I'm just haven't had much time. But today I've got the day off, and I saw there was a match scheduled between Penguin and metin48. So while we wait for the match to start, you can check out this link here. It's a team up link. I can just get it to work. Have a look at this. It's teamup.com. Some long string, but it hasn't changed. And this is where you can have a look at who is coming up next, and you can make this happen in your time zone. So I've shown this website before. It's managed by, I know OK manages it. I'm guessing the likes of Legion Destroyer and the Finisher may also have a hand in helping with maintaining this calendar. But it's fantastic work from the community. You can see when the next Elite Crazy House Arena is on. If you just go to the bottom here, you can click on there and click Show All Time Zones and flick this to the time zone that you're in anywhere in the world, and it will say when the matches are on. So today we had Deadband versus John Stuckey. I believe John Stuckey won 6-0. The match I'm intending to cover now, which we're just waiting for, is penguingim1 versus metin48. A little later today, it looks like another 11 hours, it'll be Vegakov versus Cordet 26, and there's a raft of other games. Bayo Miller versus JK the Bullfrog, King Switcher versus Crazy Genius, PKNM versus JD0305 tomorrow. And then you've got Sunday, we've got T-Cubes AK versus X Mohawks, Anara32 versus Oops 14, GSVC versus OK, Karigalas versus Zek, CIW versus Morlock, Inga 2018 versus Brave, Horsey, Pawn in Training versus Legion Destroyer, and Mr. Sir versus Forhavu on Monday. So a whole lot of games coming up. Mind you, it's because to keep the tournament on schedule, we're trying to wrap up this round by 26th April, so there's a whole rush of games getting completed by then, and it's 26th April Hawaii time, which is when we are aiming for a deadline. So look, we've got some motion on the board here. Here we go. We're going to look at Metin. Looks like it's not playing Penguin though. So Metin's gone for the 4+2 Crazy House tournament. Let's just see where Penguin is at. Penguin's online. Active 1 hour ago. Alright, well, hopefully Penguin comes back. So we're going to see Metin play the 4+2 tournament in the meantime. The Fuchsia, hello. Jenna217 said trying to commentate a Penguin match is risky. He has a tendency to sleep. Maybe that's why he's not here. SlimMG77 says, hi Jan, hope you and your family are safe and healthy. Yes, we are safe and healthy. Yeah, it was a bit of a scare the other week. I actually had to go get tested for COVID-19. What had happened was I actually the day before, I had a flu shot, which was a regular part of hospital protocol, and I'd been, measuring my temperature kind of once a day, and it actually went up and down within a night. So that's a fever. That's a symptom. Helms night, rating with a party of 25. Thanks, Helms. And what's happened then is I had to get tested because I had a symptom, and I'm part of the healthcare system. But came back after 2 days that I was clear, so that was a huge relief. Helms, without checking your email, Helms, I'll just say it because I wrote it in your Twitch chat and I don't think you got to read it there. But I had a stream with Yasser, and he was talking about how Hikaru would be keen to potentially have a rematch of our Bughouse match from about a year ago. So that's what my email said. So you can save yourself some trouble digging through those. So yeah, I'm still a little bit time poor at the moment, but yeah, that'd be really good to make happen again. So I was surprised because we were just having either a Crazy House or a 01 chess stream, and yeah, so that's great. So there you have it. So Helm says, yes, I saw that message a little after you left, and I am 100% wanting to do the rematch. Haha, I must have missed that email somehow or didn't get it. I'm of course wanting to. Haha, yeah. So I made a joke to Helms that I thought she'd moved on to bigger and better things, and that's why she just ignored my email. But no, it seems she's getting spammed with emails these days, and yeah, that's fair enough. All good. So yeah, I don't know how you want to go about it, Helms, but yeah, if you have the means to communicate through chess.com to get to Hikaru, that'd be awesome. Let's see, it's queen takes h7 mating, knight at g5, check takes, king g6, queen here, king f6, maybe running away. Maybe pawn here. That's a long way to run. Sorry, got distracted by the position, but yeah, Yasser was definitely keen. So he was mentioning in that particular stream what a great time he had, and yeah, was basically saying he's keen to go as well and take on Hikaru again. So if we can make it happen, that'd be awesome. I do need to practice a little bit though, because yeah, I'm not just rusty. I'm short on sleep these days as well, and you need to be in good shape to play Bughouse. Yeah, I mean, it's either whatever means you have, if it's ChessBay or chess.com, something like that. But yeah, I can certainly help to communicate with Yasser, so I can do that part. And yeah, I figured with COVID around, maybe we'll have more opportunity. I might just send Penguin a cheeky message here, just see if Penguin's gonna come around. Let's do it over this side. Okay, just sent to Penguin. Hey, I was going to stream your CWC match against metin48. It's about 10 minutes past the start time now. Will you be playing? Yeah, so nice to see all of you. Cole. I want to get this right. Is it Cole Eels or Cole Alves? I want to pronounce that right, but it says, can Katask be your practice partner? Yeah, like, sure, we can practice some. Always happy to practice some Bughouse, but it's really just about time permitting. Alright, Humps, we'll see you later. Yeah, stay in touch. Alright. Katask says, I'm a terrible partner. Yeah, well, I mean, there's you have to define what a partner means in Bughouse. So you can there are really good Bughouse players and there are really good Bughouse partners, and sometimes what the term is referring to is, you know, how well you communicate. Now, if Katask was white here, he'd definitely play bishop takes f5, knight takes f5, knight takes d5, takes bishop takes e6, bishop at e6. He'd steal d5, and then he would say something like, "Oh, you just played black like 12-10 because he always loses his pawn on d5 in this opening." So that is actually an opening trick here, because it looks like black's got plenty of coverage, but in fact moving this allows bishop at e6. Because of this trade-off, bishop at e6, and actually you capture the knight, not the pawn on d5. Sorry, but e4 played, and black is completely fine now. In fact, black's probably a little bit better. Mark Crazy House says, and then he would say, "But I still lose anyway." Yeah, because 12-10 is just that dangerous. It doesn't matter what position you're in. If 12-10's not mated, then you're probably in trouble. Like, unless there's like checkmate and you actually played it and you didn't miss it by 1 second. Like, you have to actually place checkmate and the server has to claim it's a win for you. If you don't reach that, you're in trouble against 12-10. Alright. Genna, that's GSVC, says, when I say 2 pawns mate me, he gives 2 queens. Well, you have to be specific. You didn't say 2 queens would mate you. No, I was referring to an earlier match. In fact, why don't we review some old vintage Bughouse here? Hang on. Yeah, we'll follow Metin in the background in case Penguin comes back. But let's just get up a new window. See if I can track down some classic Bughouse, because we were just talking about Helms, and Chicken was also just streaming with Helms just then. But I had a stream with Chicken and Helms a long time ago. I'll see if I can find that. Just bear with me a moment. And I think, where are we? Who was I partnered with? I think I was partnered with Kazim, and yeah, hang on. Sorry, I was just trying to track down what part of the video, just to reminisce some old Bughouse, because they were actually talking in stream about reminiscing some old Bughouse. So let's play through some of this. Okay, we'll start the video here. I'll just see that people can see it. Might have to shrink this. That doesn't really work, does it? Meanwhile, Jasugi's matching me to 1-0. We'll play some of this video first. Hang on. Anything? Whoa.
Some stuff.
Alright, so how long ago was this? This was, that's fine, Jan 27, 2019.
Hi. I'm gonna sack my queen.
Alright.
I said.
So queen mates Helms with queen at f2, and he's like, I'm gonna sack my queen. So this is like GSV saying, well, Katask pawn mates me and don't lose a queen.
Oh, he's gonna check
I'm not in check.
Alright, just go.
I love that statement. I swear to God, Chicken. But I need you to finish that sentence.
I have so much faith in my partner, but I get nervous when I hear I'm gonna sack my queen. 2 seconds.
Alright, yeah. Make sure you say no queen like at least a couple times.
Okay, it is okay now.
There you go.
Okay, good. Thank you.
but it's still bad. Just attack. You gotta get like something going.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with that line, Katas. Queen
I gotta
h5.
get something going.
Yeah, you got nothing going, man. What are you doing, bro?
I got nothing going. Wow.
Yeah, bro. Come on, do something.
Yeah, rook and knight mates. Oh, knight's good. Knight's good. Knight mates.
I was trying to get something going.
Yeah,
Wait,
try to get.
Knight mates? I didn't know pieces were bad.
I need to get something going. Tell me to get something going.
Because you gave queen and it killed me.
No, I didn't get queen. I was trying to get something going.
I'm so lost.
Alright, don't tell me to get something going, man.
Why not?
It puts too much pressure on me to get something going.
Alright, so chicken continues to go on here, but yeah, the point here was to demonstrate that it's quite common that you'll have this communication issue with.
Well, you tell me to attack. Why can't I tell you?
Because he gets performance anxiety.
It's different, okay?
Yes, both John simultaneously laughing.
This is
That's
unfair.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know something going, man. I didn't know.
I'm second queen.
Yeah, that's fine.
You like get something going and hold a queen, and queen is kind of bad still.
Bro, you gotta do so many things. Multitask.
I have to tell you these things.
This is Bughouse, not chess.
I can't do so many things at once. You can tell me like one thing.
He said, oops, I sent him challenge. So
I'm gonna sack my queen for a pawn. I'm gonna sack my knight for a pawn. Should I sack it? Should I sack it?
here we go. I'm gonna stop that video just for a moment, but that was good to reminisce just for a bit of a laugh. Okay, let's go. We're getting serious here. So we've got Penguin versus metin48. We're gonna look at this from Metin's point of view. Metin playing something theoretical here. I only know this because Caitlin, who's known as Variant Bunny, she absolutely destroyed me with this, playing the white pieces. Let's just quickly recap that. So e4, d5, b4, apparently some kind of theory which I'm not really familiar with, but white loses a pawn, gets a whole lot of tempo. And Penguin's just... I don't think Penguin's in book. He's just kind of going, alright, I'm just going to play. Yeah, I don't know about bishop a3. Jasugi's got some bishop a3 question marks here. Okay. So Penguin looks like he conceded a pawn to maintain defense of this bishop, but also some development. So looks dynamic. I'm calling it fairly equal at the moment. Big sack, bishop takes f2. So king takes e3, knight d5 is strong. Wins the rook, and Penguin's going to see that sort of tactic. g3. What's the continuation? He's going to play checks. Pawn at e3. Still nothing like, you know, killer shot decisive here. You got queen f6. No, knight takes e3. Okay, so I think he figures takes, queen takes g3. Penguin here going all in. He's only got pawns and a rook. And it's the kind of position I'd take as white and try to defend. Very typical sort of situation I find myself in. Pawn on f4, king d2, queen f2. So maybe pawn at f4, king d3, rook at e3, king d2. I'm not sure. Oh, I don't like king e2 for some reason, but it's not. I can't refute it either. It's a rook in hand. It's not a queen. And yeah, like Jasugi said, I like white before king e2, same, but I think, yeah, maybe here rook takes f3. Yeah, basically, if black can cover d7 and prevent any counterattack, black's going to be doing well, because black can generate material. You've got to calculate this though. You can't just run into it. You can get busted. Something could happen here with a rook. Penguin's saying I can't see anything direct. I'm just going to keep my king safer than this king, and I think this aspect of Crazy House where you get a lot of value out of investing one move in defense sometimes, because that one move might set your opponent back 3 or 4 tempi in trying to attack you, and because you don't have anything direct and you need to trade pieces to generate your attack, it's actually worthwhile making this investment in defense. So alright, he's actually taking it and then gonna win the queen back. Gonna do it that way. I was kind of just thinking knight at e5, keeping the queen on g3. I felt that king would maybe go to c3 and you'd still take this, or otherwise you're winning some material with check. Not that black's going to get mated here. I mean, this bishop prevents any sort of smothered mate happening. So still favoring black here. Material is in white's favor, but initiative, huge edge to black at the moment. And I'd take the initiative over the material at this point. Queen at e3, queen at d2, knight at d4. Lots of checks to stop. If you ask me where I'd put some defense on, it's queen at e1. These 3 is really hard to stop. So you probably have to put a queen on c3 to cover everything. But there'll probably be another problem if you do that. So rook here, queen at e1 is open. Is there a mate? Queen at e1 takes, knight at h4 takes. It looks like there'll be enough pawns to mate. Pawn at e5 here, pawn at f6, pawn at g6. That looks like mate. He may go for pawn at e4, but knight at h4 is a clean win. He is going pawn at e4, and I nearly feel that Penguin will do that just because it wins a rook, and it's pretty safe. But this is also very convincing. So Penguin's going to take this first game. Well played. No, yeah, I mean that's where it's hard. I mean, Penguin went all in, and objectively, I think Jasugi and I would agree before king e2, we preferred white. Something like king d3 or king d2, start moving that king to the queen side. But it's very difficult to defend those positions when there's so much initiative. So metin48, I like this. Metin's throwing in some opening moves that are maybe unexpected. Definitely sound. I've seen this before. I think that's a decent move. But that's good to throw off Penguin. And he's made Penguin use a pawn here, and that's useful because black has a pawn in hand now and white doesn't, and that's a small advantage. It is small, but here this is dangerous. Takes, and then a bishop here. F2 is on. Yeah, see, like Jasugi saying, wait, take all on d5, bishop at c5. So you're getting convergent commentary from Jasugi on this side here as well. Okay, but now that's all been liquidated. White's all right now. So this is balanced at the moment. Knight at h5 is not a problem. Queen h6. But black definitely had an edge with taking all on d4 before. I mean, that's effectively like the point of queen h4 and d6. d6 is setting up. Arguably, you didn't even need d6. Maybe even straight after bishop e3, it's just take, bishop at b6. Maybe you can block on c5. But there's never a queen takes g7, queen takes f2 is made in 1, so yeah, alright. Having said that, I don't know what the response is to queen h4 because I haven't studied it. But yeah, black is still good here. Position wise, I mean, you can see on the clock as well, Metin's more than a whole minute up, so to use the tennis term, this game is on black's racket. Yeah, you don't need to go and attack straight away, but it's not the worst move either. Personally, I would have maybe done something like Queen E5. Knight at D3 is necessary to hold on to F2. Unless you want to try King E2. King E2 is also reasonable. King E1 not so good. So Metin with some initiative here, and you got to step carefully. You know, a King C1 and a Bishop at D2, Bishop takes C3 all goes south quite quickly for white, but King E2 is a good square. And the trouble is here, if you, as black, if you don't make good with your initiative, then you're going to be going backwards. So he's all in. All right, if takes knight here, he doesn't have enough for mate. He needs another pawn, but it looks scary. Which this looks like an instinctive kind of play. I think Penguin's seriously contemplating King takes D3 here. Either is probably fine, but yeah, it's. I mean, when it looks like another pawn is going to mate you, you just want to take a bit more care with this. So King takes. That's all right. Yeah, knight takes is alright. He's gonna run back. I mean, knight at c4 takes, and the king just runs to safety here. But, oh, well. Yeah. That was unfortunate. I just feel that, yeah, that was a decision where black tried to counterattack too quickly, and you could have held on to your material advantage just a bit longer. You didn't have to go for bishop at d2. Okay, b4 again played. We're going to see bishop a3. So I don't mind this for either side actually. I think, you know, black is quite backward in development. You grab the pawn. It'd be fun for white to play. I'd kind of take either side here. But I certainly know some players will, probably the majority of players would prefer the white pieces here with that development advantage and the potential to attack. So we got 47 viewers turning up today. Again, thanks to Helm's Knight for the raid earlier. But yeah, this is our first Crazy House World Championship match I'm getting to stream live. So I'm really happy to be able to do something in this capacity. It has been quite demanding, just the first few rounds to get through some of the organization steps. Ooh, yeah, pawn at d2. Maybe that was missed. Maybe Metin thought it was takes, but that's critical because you get knight at e4 check, which allows the checks to start rolling. I actually thought d5 is quite risky with losing this knight defender and then allowing this check. So it could be mate already. Takes. If the king tries to run, you queen at d2, queen c3, maybe take the bishop, block bishop at d2, king here, takes, pawn at e3, king here. It's close to mate. Maybe like a queen b4 if you try to encourage another pawn to block, take c3 and pawn at d2's mate. I mean, you don't need to look that far ahead here with black. If king e3 it was queen at d2, takes knight at g5. All that matters here is you cut off the king from a1 and you don't have enough material here, so this is all as noted. No, you don't do pawn at e3, you do knight at e4. That's much easier. Save the pawn for d2 for mate. So, Penguin saw the right move. A bit easier to see it when you're playing the live position and you reach it. So Penguin sticking with d4. Or not sticking, he played e4 first game, didn't he? So it's actually changed to d4, sorry. Brain doesn't work as well as it used to. So knight d7. This is all very solid, even and balanced. I think bishop g6 is required here. You could take d3, but this pawn is actually useful for supporting the center with e4. And then this is also somewhat useful for the rook. So yeah, I like white a bit better already here. There's just some natural flowing sort of potential here. Even here, queen h7 is looking dangerous. Something is brewing. You don't have to go for it. There's dark squares, there's light squares to hit. Something has got to give here. It may even be bishop takes first. Takes, queen takes here. Knight f5 check. Because then h6 is not covered and this rook can't be blocked. Yeah. Let's see if Penguin goes for it. Let's see if he indeed does it. Ooh. So here, if you go back, well, it's just a pawn here and a pawn here. So you got to run up, and then there's like a bishop here and a pawn here and a pawn here. So Penguin finding that and very accurately finding the right continuation. You could also maybe put a 9 on it. He's gone for the rook, so I guess he figures knight here, and then like bishop at f4 will still cover here, and if the king went here, bishop at f4 was going to cover d6. So he's done it his own way. I just chose bishop at h7 because it defends the knight, and it was a pretty quick wrap up as well. Yeah, check. All right. Bishop at h3 made in one. But he got there his way. Alright. Penguin looking to seal this one pretty quickly. Up 4-0 already. I think Metin's had some good opening chances, and you know, but it's been fine points to capitalize on those. Okay, so Penguin's got to prove he can hold on to the pawn. Bishop f4, rook c8. h3, okay. Preparing the castle, denying black of pawn at h3. I still like bishop f4 here. Maybe bishop g5 was in some way played to stop h4. I'm not sure, but pawn at g4 is the main move. Okay, so removing the h3 defender. Now, interesting, it could be h takes g2 because this knight can't really do anything menacing. Yeah, so knight e3 might make sense here. I thought it was worth preserving the knight rather than the rook, because after knight e3 you get queen going to f1 and giving a bit more defense. So this one you can probably just relinquish as black, maybe move forward on the light squares. So he's going for pawn at e4. Yeah, either order. Oh, Don't want to take with the queen because of bishop at e4. So king goes across. Knight at g4 keeps things difficult for white. And again, you can just see, black's king is a lot safer than white's king. So here, I think now you start chomping on the dark squares to finish the job. You don't have to find the killer blow from here. But okay, bishop d6. Penguin's in killer blow mode. So if you take, pawn here, h4 takes, pawn at e5. Have to go here. No, the bishop's still on h4, but there's probably enough pawns. It's probably mate here. After here. I mean, I thought g takes f6 was good enough, but this is definitely more troublesome because now there's a knight that can deliver this key check. King here, and this one goes back. Yeah, tough day at the office for metin48. Can't see Penguin losing this one. Task says, why mate in one when you can make your opponent suffer? Well, I find the game's about enjoyment, so, not much point prolonging suffering. And myself, I'm also time poor, so I'd rather get on with the next game. Okay, but it's a rookie one, and a nice finish found by Penguin here. h4, knight at h5, there it is. Making way for the knight, but also blocking off the king on h4. That's quite neat. We've got 67 spectators here and 64 in the Twitch chat. Okay, 5-0 to Penguin. I found it fairly consistent here, where metin48's got a nice set of openings that definitely set up some play, and kind of the moment we hit the middle game, Penguin demonstrates some stronger ability. The h5 hanging, can you take it? I think you can. I think knight takes h5 is fine. So let's go with the bishop. That's also okay. And that's just one of those cases where maybe you can't play h5 because you don't have the means to defend it. You may have to play h6 just to give your bishop the square on h7 to run to. But okay, we got a game here. I could take this as black. I don't mind it. So we've got a piece for 2 pawns. Ping straight in. Now, knight h4, I reckon. There we go. We're hitting something, because here you can just sidestep. King g7 is all good. You don't have to be concerned about white capturing the knight. There's nowhere to put it that threatens the king. So black's got the initiative here. White's only holding diagonal pieces. Okay. Peng playing aggressive. So you got to fight fire with fire here. I think you got to try something like knight at f3, or you've got to hit the queen. Something aggressive. Maybe a bishop at f3. Okay, so he consumes a pawn. So he's going for attack, but there's a bit of finesse here. Let's see if Metin can pull something out. So knight c4. You just don't want to run out of initiative here. So maybe knight at f3. Does that lead to anything? I wouldn't have gone this way. In fact, every pawn and piece counts for a lot. In fact, now looking back at it, I think I liked bishop at f5 best. So we'll stay with the live game here, because even when black loses this knight. There's no direct like mating sequence for white unless you really give away too much material. Even 2 knights, like the king can still run. So here takes pawn at d2, bishop at f3. It's black might just run out of material here. You could play knight at f3, but then king d1. So yeah, I thought way back here, and here's where there's a critical move. This is like a critical position right here, which is how do you choose to counterattack? And I think bishop at f5 is actually the right one, because queen takes h4, you have this neat trick, knight at f3, knight at g2, winning the queen. Black's still safe, queen in hand. That would have been a pretty good bet for black. And you got another bishop on f5, you got more defense covering your king. So if you play bishop at f5 and then white starts backing off, then you're starting to hit the queen with tempo. I don't have a clear win out of all that, but I just feel here you risk running out of pieces going this way. So king f1 looks really dangerous, like you'd be check here, pawn at d3, takes. It's like nearly mate. Probably bishop at e4, king e2, knight takes d4, pawn at d3. Oh, it's still running. I just feel king d1 here is definitely the choice. Now Penguin could be getting sucked into trying to find something with knight at f5, knight at e6, but I think that's not going to work, because bishop at g5 takes, bishop at f7, king here, pawn e6, king c7. Even if there's a queen that gets lost, I think black's finding safety. So here you've got to win by defense with king d1, I believe. But he's going for it. All right, Medin's in with a chance now here. I think Medin could take this one. I don't think Penguin's seen far enough. He's run short on time, and he said, "I'm going to go for it." But queen at e2, pawn at d2, that's too much. So I think Medin's going to take this one. He's got it on the board. He's got it on the clock. But king d1 was still looking all right for white. And this is exactly what we called out, that it runs. But Penguin's probably thought, oh, I'm getting a queen. But king c7 and rook d8, and the checks run out, because there's no knight that comes in on b5 or c4. So now pawn at d2, knight e4. I think Medin will find the win from here, because he seems quite keen to pull the trigger on the attack, and that's what you should be doing here. Knight at b2, knight takes c4, very clean. Bishop at e2 will also be good. Yeah, I can't see Medin losing this one. Alright, live game. So Medin takes a win, so it's 5-1. Katask says John would still find a way to defend this as white. No, there are limits. You got to know your limits. That's I would have lost that game to Metin as well. I'm confident. All right, Metin sticking with the b4. Yeah, I got to find out about this one. I think I mentioned the other day in Discord, I think my next idea for streaming is because, look, openings have come so far, and I just can't survive as well as I used to with, doing zero opening study. I mean, my opening study has been pretty much limited to when Crazy House World Championships have been on, and I've been doing some kind of prep for the events. But my idea here is, when time permits again, I gotta try to learn some theory, keep up with, or keep in stroke, as they say, with everyone else. And when I do that, I think the way I'll do it is, anytime I spend, with Stockfish learning theory, I'll put on a live stream and as I learn some opening lines and find things interesting, I'll go share them live with everyone else that wants to tune in, post them on YouTube. And I think anyone can kind of open up Stockfish, but it's really important that you understand why the moves are being played and not just remembering lines, because that's where you'll particularly if you're just learning the game, or you're quite new to it. I think that's a trap, because if you think, let's just learn all of these lines without understanding them, the moment there's a slight deviation, your game is going to collapse. And so what I'd rather do is if I go and learn some theory with some live streaming, I'll actually talk through what the human motive or idea would be behind Stockfish's moves. And I think that might be interesting for viewers, and it could be making some good instructional content. So that's an idea in the pipeline, and that way I don't feel like I'm just sitting in a room myself just going through lines, because I'd rather be playing than doing that. So if I'm going to do that, it'll be with a live stream. An entire sleeve says, I think beating Penguin in ZH in a simul is the high water mark for me. Oh, okay. So are you saying you've done that, an entire sleeve? Or, I'm not sure what the comment means. Qatar says, have you considered just asking the finisher for all his opening files? Yeah, but that's not what it's about. It's about sharing it with everyone else. So, it's not about personal gain or understanding the openings better, or just how do we get there fastest. It's actually about making the time useful for the community. I don't have that much spare time these days. I am getting a little bit more. I have been able to play a little bit more. It's been good, but no, it's about how can we contribute to the community while learning some theory, and I guess sort of level the playing field a little bit for those that find it too difficult to just study Stockfish themselves and understand it. It's a lot to grind through. Okay, so here, let's just get back to the game for a moment. I think it's still a game. It's still balanced. Black's definitely got some initiative, but material's balanced enough. White's got some pieces in hand. There's a rook to come e1. So pawn at e5 here I really like. Here I think is a game where White can just try to grind and win material. Just keep chomping and winning material. So this isn't so dangerous. Knight at h1 is not really anything to be worried about just yet. Pawn at e3. So if you take that, what's the consequence? d4 check, and then like a knight takes e5 follows. So d4 is coming in. Can you take this with the bishop? Knight takes, bishop at f2, takes, pawn here. Yeah, that's going to be dead. Rook takes, you win the queen with check, queen at e2, there'll be something there. So you got to run. Knight takes e5, hitting the queen, pawn at c3 coming. This is moving in favor of black now. Rook e1's no good because the pawn at e3 check blocks the pin. Yeah, so queen hg7, you got to go for something. I agree with this. White's got a counter, and you've got to just let the king fight for itself for a little bit. King d1. If rook takes, you've got queen takes e5. So White's got resources here. I mean, I said it was turning in black's favor, but I missed queen takes g7. That's actually critical. So rook f8, bishop at c5 is a nice move here. Yeah, I like here, because while black has nothing in hand, bishop at c5 is really asking a serious question. What are you going to do about f8? And it makes any threats that black may have look just too slow. For example, bishop at c5, if you tried to take the knight and then takes here, and queen at e7 and takes c7, it'll be all over. So now bishop at c5, bishop at e7. Now bishop at h6, that's also okay, because queen takes e5 is deadly. Yeah, before queen takes g7, I was thinking black's looking good, but now, Metin could put in a second win here. White's already got what looks like a slight material advantage, but definitely a big advantage in safety. This knight's covering this nicely. If this was ever to go, like, there's no immediate danger now. Alright, Metin's keeping the bishop on g5 because it's an aggressive piece, and that's fine. So knight g6, putting Peng on the defensive here. Do we have a knockout blow? Yeah, there's some tricky stuff there. They look like I would have gone pawn at c6, but that's getting pretty tricky. So pawn at c6, the idea is to just basically stop the king from ever getting a c6. Then if takes here, you can steal g6. Takes, knight at g7, king f7 or king d7 would run into bishop at e6 mate. Ooh. Flirting with danger a little bit, but no, this isn't going anywhere for Peng. He's run out of steam. So Metin's done it. Metin's done it a nice way too. You just gotta be careful you don't like give it away with knight at f6, takes here, knight e2 check, knight at f2 mate. That's the only way you could lose. You gotta play queen takes f8. Here queen takes f8 wins with rook at d7, rook at d8, and I think Metin's a strong attacker. I think he'll see that. So, wow, Metin fighting here with the back against the wall, pulling up 2 wins. Okay, well played, Metin. So hopefully Metin gets a chance to review this video and Katask, Jasugi, there you go, Metin. You can have a look at those comments later. Beast of a player. Yikes, Metin's super underrated. Look, I think if Metin gets in a situation where there's some initiative and it's fighting 5 versus 5, like Metin will try to find that initiative play. So we're in the same opening position here. Will he take d4 this time? This is just good. It's like, come on. You get it. I mean, you can't expect him to play it because he played this way last time, so he's not gonna see something different just because Jasugi and I are like talking about it in the chat. It looks obvious to the viewers, but it can't be obvious to those that are playing. So I still like black here. I mean, knight takes d4 is like crushingly better for black, but still, here black's got the extra pawn in hand. Yeah, here we go. Like, just straight up attack. That's the extra pawn in hand that's now valuable. Before I think Penguin played g3 when the bishop was still on f1. So, just sensing a bit of complacency here from Penguin. I mean, this isn't nice if black gets the rook and the queen, gets to win the queen back, gets to win this knight. This looks all over for black. I mean, for like victory for black, all over for white. Jasugi also saying this is 0-1 already. I agree. Yeah, so if you let Metin attack, he's gonna take it. But there have been a few cases where I felt that Metin didn't have to attack immediately, and a bit of restraint can be useful sometimes. But this is just material advantage for black. It's just huge. So I like bishop takes first. It just prevents pawn at h6 from being a real threat. You can just take this, take this, take this. Bishop at f6, you could block it. You don't even have to risk that much. asks us pawn at h6, force mate for white now. So, an entire sleeve says, what's the idea behind knight x d4 after bishop takes d4, knight at g2, but can the white king... No. An entire sleeve, it's like way earlier. After d6, instead of knight e7, like black can just take and play bishop at c5, and then like the queen is skewered with a mate threat on f2. It's just devastating. It's not after g3. It's just crushing, and Jasugi saw it a few games ago as well. So look, Metin being very cautious here with g7, and that's not a bad thing. You know you're winning here. This is a really solid defense. If, for example, takes here, you can play bishop at h6 check, bishop at e3, and then recapture with the bishop. If takes first, you can take this with bishop. So either way white goes about this, black will end up with a bishop on g7, which is a really good defensive piece that you want there. So bishop at h6. I'd love Metin to show us some defensive skills as well as the offensive. You can take here, but bishop at h6, a bit more annoying. You gotta fight. So Jasugi says bishop at h6, no way in. Like bishop at h6 is just, that's like you know, crushing your opponent's dreams when you do that as black. It's just winning with defense. It's the stuff that makes white want to resign. But black's still very clearly ahead here. Bishop at h6. Yeah, you don't really want to risk with queen at f6, but it's probably good enough. Because if pawn at g5, bishop at f4 check, I mean white would have to block with the queen, or run back here, and then there's knight takes c2. Yeah, so even here he's figuring if bishop at f4, bishop at e3. And that's just the difference, where if you play bishop at h6, you don't have to deal with this sort of problem. Okay, Metin though, going for e2. That's not going to yield a mate straight away. So queen at d4, maybe he's just coming back to grab g7 for some safety. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, look, we think of Crazy House as a game where you go for the initiative whenever you can, but in fact sometimes just one defensive move just closes the door so hard on the game that you know, it's well worthwhile investing that time in some defense. Okay, I think either bishop at h6 or queen takes g7, one of those is going to happen. Okay. Yeah, you just come back here now. This is kind of helping white get some material in hand to attack with. And now, yeah, it's just black's still better objectively, but you're just giving white just enough to work with. So bishop at h6 is still fine. It might be worrying Metin a bit, but it's fine. So that's also okay. Knight takes g7. I just prefer the bishop here, but putting a bishop on here is good still. So white maybe has a draw at worst. Ooh, Metin will be thinking bishop takes e3 here, queen at d2, but that's running into trouble. There's too much left on g7. Queen at e2 is enough to defend. Don't get sucked into that. You just got to play pawn at g6 here, or pawn at g4 as well is fine. A bit more aggressive. Bishop takes. No, is. Okay, queen at e2 I thought was better. This is allowing. Oof. It takes here, it could be mate. maybe not enough because G3 can't be covered. Takes point here. Pawn at G4. You can't play rook at F2 because King G3 can't be covered. So now if King G3, he's gone that way. So pawn at H3, you run out of pawns. Yeah, sad for Metin. Sad. Yeah, you can't kind of switch to defense now. You'll just take all the pieces. Queen at H6 and mate's coming in. And this is what can happen if you don't cover your king and you try too hard to attack, you can lose a game. So that's unfortunate for Metin. I thought Metin was coming back with a third win there. But really glad to see 2 wins from Metin, you know, not falling 6-0. That's a good match right there. We'll go update the site straight away because we can. And then we'll have a bit of a recap on where we're at the moment with the Crazy House World Championship, because I've not really put up a stream at all on it yet. But I mean the priority for me at the moment has just been to make sure the first few rounds get going, and there's a lot of games to get through, and just following up with people to try to keep it on schedule, because the better we start, the better we'll be in the future. I think the later rounds will possibly progress faster. There's less players, and also the players that are left are familiar with scheduling matches, and you know, they know it's a double elimination knockout. They didn't like, oh, I thought I was knocked out already, so that's why I didn't schedule a match. So yeah, good fight from metin48. You know, that's you know, good to put up a fight against GM Andrew Tang on this. So let's just get the result in. Give me a moment. Where are they? Here we are. 6-2 to penguingim1. And then we'll have a look at the bracket. So let's just resize this in a way that's going to make sense for the screen. Okay, hope you can all see that. So let's have a review of this bracket. So of course, first round has a lot of, you know, very how do you say, heavily weighted pairings towards the stronger player. So you know, player 1 plays player 128. But we're getting into some rounds now where we're going to see some closer match-offs. So Jasugi99 already through to round 3, won 7-0 against Stephanie and 6-0 against Simba7. Definitely a big name to watch. I mean, Jasugi is in astonishing form at the moment. He's been destroying me, partly because he's just playing so much better. I am also playing worse, but even if I wasn't playing worse, he'd be destroying me. But he's taken me down like, I don't know, in a 50-game series, 4 games to 1 ratio. And on a better day, when I might be playing better, he's taking me down 2 to 1. You know, so I think he's actually stepped up a fair bit. I got to admit, I've stepped down a fair bit. I'm very inconsistent these days. I have some games where I play well because I've actually had some sleep, and then if you catch me on a day when I just woke up from, you know, 2 hours sleep looking after Spencer, I just fall apart. You know, I've scored less than 50% in one of the elite Crazy House arenas recently, and that was something that I never did before. But anyway, Jasugi I think is very, very dangerous, looking like a sure thing for the candidates. We had a withdrawal from Rapid Variance, unfortunately. Didn't really know what was behind that one. We've got GD Howard and Adamek to play in round 3. So here's some upcoming matches. GSVC and OKE, 2 big-time community members in Crazy House World Championship. CIW versus Morlock coming up soon. Little Plotkin already through to round 3. T-Cubes versus X-Mohawks coming up soon as well. So let's see here. Bughouse Master through round 3. So Bughouse Master took down Jeremy Durham 6-2. This would have been a really nice one to watch because these two are very close in strength. So in each round, you have the strongest player versus the weakest, but somewhere in the middle is where you're going to find the close boundaries. And it's such a strong event to see already at round 2. You've got a couple 2400s playing against each other. So King Switcher coming up, PKM coming up against JD, King Switcher versus Crazy Genius. Master Tan took a victory against Variant Bunny. I think Variant Bunny is a rising talent we've got to watch. She's beaten me up a good few times already with some stunning opening preparation and some really fierce attacking. And good to see some female representation, of course, because we want to see more of the likes of Helm's Knight rise to the top and bring the game to the masses. MRT Phantom Troop coming up. Mugwort already through, taking on Deblower So next. Chicken Crossroad also through, taking on Duches next. And John Stuckey versus Clearcast. Now, wow, that should be a good match to watch. So you're looking at a 2553 to 2521. I mean, these ratings are an average of, I think, at the time when the tournament began, and the best rating, the average of the best rating and current rating. That's what's gone into this. So, yeah, Bugs, my good mate Bugzilla, is going to be taking on Advocat next. The finisher, very strong contender there. The current authority on all Crazy House theory. Next to face up against Anjou Nakamura, who beat Rikastrov quite convincingly. So here we got Penguin. Now Penguin taking down Metin just in this stream. We'll take on Zodiac Blitzer. And Variants Only, who beat Fishy Vishy just recently. I think Fishy played that live. I just had a laugh watching his stream because the one game he won, he had no idea how he won, and the look on his face was like, oh my gosh, that just fell into my lap. So I had a bit of a laugh at that one. Art of Deception. So yeah, could be a dark horse there, Art of Deception. I think that's one we might need to look out for. I've heard Art of Deception has done well in a previous Crazy House World Championship in the bracket. Juanet already in. Juanet will play the winner of Legion Destroyer from Pawn in Training. And yeah, I think Legion Destroyer is one to watch as well. Big improver in the last year or two. One of the people helping to arrange this event, but also been a follower of my channel. And I've been playing a bit against Legion, and the improvement in Legion Destroyer has been phenomenal. So that should be an interesting match if Legion gets through. We'll see how Legion goes with Pawn in Training pretty soon. Zek. Now Zek is one of the originals from, I think he's from Chile, and he's come from Buho21. And Buho21 is actually where I was first using the name John Lee many years back. And Zek was the best player on Buho21. In fact, Juanet was also from Buho21 and has probably surpassed Zek in the meantime. But I don't think Zek's maybe played as much as he could have, and Zek is certainly a big talent to look out for. This is a name that is not as well known, but I've played plenty against Zek, and there's a lot of talent there. Freebie versus Dubby. Yes, I mean, recently we got Freebie taken off the shadow ban, so Freebie can now post his own times in the forum, which is great. It's only Bughouse Master that's currently on a shadow ban, and I need to communicate on behalf of. But that's okay. We'll get the matches scheduled however we need to. So that's the top bracket. There is also a lower bracket. And look, there's a myriad of results. So I just want to remind players that if you lose your first game, in the sense that this is the first game you've lost, you still have a second chance, and you need to look for where your next match is. They call it the losers bracket. I just want to say, you're below the line. You've taken one loss. there are already some very strong players landing into the lower bracket. You've got a lot of 2200 players. We're already seeing, look, the likes of Le Professionnel, who's 2400, has come down in here. Jeremy Durham is in there as well. And we've got Variant Bunny must still be alive here. Yeah, Variant Bunny has taken down Kramka and has moved to the next round. So, yeah, that's just a good reminder. I won't go through too many more results, but yeah, I'm just focused on getting round 2 finished for everyone. The only really people at risk of forfeit at the moment are those players that have not communicated anything since the tournament began and have forfeited round 1 and are now potentially going to forfeit round 2 because there's still been no communication for them. So I am reluctant to issue forfeit results, but where we see a player just potentially be completely absent because they haven't logged on or they're not responding at all, that's grounds for a forfeit when we pass the scheduled date. The other grounds for forfeit is continually players scheduling matches and one player repeatedly not turning up. They're the main 2 grounds for forfeit results. So while I am sending out messages to encourage people to finish matches by the 26th, it doesn't automatically mean there's a forfeit that applies there. You do need to get notified in advance that a forfeit is on the card. So we would definitely prefer to see matches played. This isn't about just trying to forfeit people wherever we can. We want to avoid that. Okay, so I might leave it there. Your next matches coming up, again, if you missed it at the start, please do check out the calendar. I don't know if my chat works still or not. My chat does work. The link is there in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, zoom in on this link at the top of this page. It starts with teamup.com and you got this nice string of letters KS30ZAEAOPFK1V98BF question mark view equals agenda, just in case you really needed the audio. And most importantly, at the bottom of the site, bottom right, is where you can change the time zone. Let's just make sure that is shown again very clearly for the viewers. Here I've marked mine as Sydney. I think it defaults to London or something, but if you just click on it, click show all time zones, then find your city, and you can then see when all of the matches are going to be lined up. So a huge thanks to, I think it's OK Legion Destroyer and the Finisher who are maintaining this. Yep. metin48 versus penguingim1 we just had. So next match is Vegakov versus Cordet 26. That's 9 PM Sydney time. That's in about 9 hours 45 minutes from now when I'm speaking. Big name JK the Bullfrog coming up tomorrow. And then King Switcher and PKNM, some more big names that day too. So yeah, check it out here. GSVC is coming up, Zex coming up, CIW versus Morlock, Legion Destroyer. So those matches I referred to are all coming up soon. Lots of activity, lots of good matches. Electric Masada, thanks for the subscription, appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed this stream. Great to see all you guys again, and just good to be on the air. Hopefully I get to cover some more matches when time permits. So I haven't got a day off today and it worked out. And again, look, thank you for all the cooperation for those helping to organize these sorts of tournament resources, and also to all the players that are cooperating to make this whole thing work. It's been going fantastically well on schedule so far. Okay. Yeah. Panaxagan said, "Are you streaming games, John?" I just sat down and missed a stream. I'm going to have to take some time out now because this little boy is going to wake up before long. I got some things to do around the house. He's only 10 months old, but we've got a staircase that has something like 17 steps inside the house. and he can actually climb the whole 17 steps by himself. So if we like turn our backs for like 2 minutes, he could be halfway up the staircase. And I've already caught him once, and he could just like roll, like fully roll and get devastated on the metal rails that are sitting at the bottom of, what is probably a 10-step thing. So, I'm going to Bunnings and having to get child protection stuff to, barriers that stop children from going up and down stairs and things. So we're having to foolproof the house. He can open the cupboard, which is low enough that contains a butcher's knife, and we caught him one day, he got his hand on it, and it's like if he just drops that, that's not good. So we're in danger zone with this little Spencer. He's got a big sister, Bella, that he's trying to keep up with. So he's crawling faster than Bella did. He's getting into trouble much faster than she did. He just goes wherever she goes, and climbing the stairs is the latest thing. So yeah, thanks for joining this one. I'll be posting this on YouTube if you missed it, of course. And in case you missed one of the details, we had Helm's Night just hanging around before. She rated the stream. Yasser had a stream with me some time ago and said, Hikaru could be keen for a rematch. We had Helm's Night and Hikaru versus myself, John Lee, and Yasser playing Bughouse probably about a year ago. So Helm's just got the message from me that there's some potential interest there. So hopefully we get to do that again. That would be phenomenal. I just got to make sure time permits, and then we just got to organise these super GMs. Okay, well, stay safe wherever you are. COVID is about. Stay indoors, watch streams, play chess, stay safe. Please do it. It's unprecedented times for us at the moment. So I hope you'll catch me for another stream, and I'll try to do some more Crazy House World Championship matches as time goes on. Alright, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.